Here we are with another episode of Fact or Fish Story. My buddy Britt Myers, general tire enthusiast. I can say that about you because not only do you run them on your truck, you put them on everybody's trucks.
That's
This
right.
is crazy.
Yep.
Britt, you got to have two stories. One's going to be a fact, one's going to be a fish story, but you got to convince me both of them are true. Can you do this? Can you put all your boring life into perspective?
I realized how boring I was when I was invited to do this. I had to come up with some stories. But yeah, I got one story that is a fishing story.
Okay.
But is it a fishing story?
All right.
Or is it a fish story?
I don't know.
But you got to figure that out. And the next one is a story about my family and I going to the mountains, and something crazy happened. So.
All right. Tell me about your fish story, and then secondly, tell me about your family.
Okay, so back when the Alabama rig was coming out, okay, remember Paul Elias was winning this major event or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And
at Gunnersville.
At Gunnersville. 4 days later, we had the biggest, like it's on my home lake, Lake Wiley, it's like the biggest bragging rights tournament of the year.
Okay.
And so we're hearing all this story. Of course, you can't buy an Alabama rig. They're gone.
Yeah.
They're so we go out and basically go to Bass Pro Shops and we buy all this leader material. It's like for shark fishing, I guess, and we make some custom Alabama rigs.
All right.
And we go out to that tournament that day, and we go to our first spot. It's me and my buddy, and on the very first cast, we catch 18 pounds of bass and won the biggest tournament of the year on one cast.
With your homemade A rig.
Homemade A rig, one cast.
Oh boy.
It was over. We both boat flipped the fish in. We were two grown men. We were celebrating, squealing like two little girls, and absolutely insane at how good that day of fishing was.
All right.
And won it on the first cast, sure enough.
That's very believable. Very believable, because I remember that time frame and how everything went down, and we all were trying to build our own if you couldn't find one. It was crazy, and picture after picture after picture of people showing multiple fish on an A rig.
Right.
So, all right, well, hopefully your second story, I can sniff it out.
Okay. So the second story is crazy. It was in 2003. We were in the mountains visiting some family with my wife. And one evening, we were actually at a grocery store, and I witnessed a guy behind the grocery store, breaking into a car. So we called the police. The police came, got the guy, and they took him in, and that was it. The next morning, I get a phone call. I don't know if you know who this guy is, but it was Eric Rudolph. He was the Olympic bomber.
What?
He was the guy who bombed the Olympics. He was known for multiple bombings.
Okay.
He'd been on a 5-year, he'd been hiding in the North Carolina mountains for 5 years, okay? And he was the FBI's most wanted, and he had $1 million reward for anybody with leading information to his arrest. And I was pretty bummed because for a short period of time, I thought I got $1 million.
Yeah.
But I didn't provide any information leading to his arrest. I just saw a guy breaking into a car.
Wow.
So
You kind of got gypped.
oh no, I was pretty bummed out for a while, but at the end of the day, it was pretty awesome because one of America's most wanted was now captured. He'd killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's interesting.
that was on the trip to the mountains with my.
That's believable. Your fish story's believable.
They're both true.
I don't know which one's going to be fact and which one's going to be a GT fish story.
One is a fish story.
So one is
it
a
a fish story?
Oh. Well, some people call me the Al Sharpton of bass fishing.
Okay,
So I could probably figure this one out.
gotcha.
I'm going to say that I'm going to go off the deep end onto the fact being story number 2, and the fish story being in one cast that you actually caught and won that tournament with 18 pounds.
So your answer is, my bogus story
Is the fishing story about the A-rig, and your true story is the one that you helped turn in the Unabomber.
So I'm gonna give you another chance. Is that your final answer?
Yes.
So you're saying that the Eric Rudolph is the true story?
Yes, that's the true
Well,
story.
you're absolutely incorrect.
God dang it, I'm terrible at this game. You're so convincing.
So the true story is, I'm pretty sure his name was John O'Maury. He's a friend. So I met the guy.
After you turned him in?
No, I didn't even turn him in.
Oh.
I made all that up.
Oh.
The true story is, I met the guy who found Eric Rudolph. He came to the house one day and told me the story. Eric was in a dumpster behind a grocery store,
Yeah.
and he took him in. And the next day he found out that it was Eric Rudolph. And I don't think he got the $1 million because he's law enforcement.
Wow.
And
Unbelievable.
the true story is,
One cast?
one cast won the biggest tournament. And me and my fishing partner Gene Webster were like two little girls, high five
I can
squealing.
only imagine.
With, you know, to catch 14 pounds would have been an amazing day,
Yeah.
but to catch 18 on one cast, it was absolutely insane. So, yeah, there it is.
I'm duped again. I can't win for losing. That's the story of my life. That's a fact, not
What?
a fish story.
I hear you.
All right. Check us out with another Factor Fish story on teamgtfishing.com.